Okay, I'm recording this in the kitchen because my neighbor's mowing the lawn and it's very loud, so, regardless. Okay, so first thing you should know is that I love chases. So the fact that this episode is called The Chase got me really excited. And what I like that this episode captured, it's not a particularly story-driven one. It doesn't all tie together to the big story necessarily. What it captures, though, which I think is very important in any long, ongoing conflict, is the chaos of it. Because in chaos, there's often confusion. And in confusion, there's surprisingly clarity. Because you forget sometimes what the conflict is and what you're fighting for, and you are reminded that you're all part of the same species. In a sense, you should all be on the same side. And I like in this episode, through all this chaos going on, through people splitting up and constant running through the night, they never get sleep and they start snapping at each other and they start splitting up and teaming up with other people they don't even know and coming across strangers and fighting duos and trios and whatever that wouldn't normally be hooked up together. They discover certain things about what they're really looking for in terms of who they will team up when the chips are stacked against them, or when they need a friend, or who their friends are, who will do what for who will not do what for who. And again, an episode like this I think is a very smart episode to have, because you're actually learning a lot about the characters without necessarily going into their backstory. Just seeing how they act to a very long, chaotic situation can really demonstrate a lot. So you have this great setup where Azula and her posse are chasing after, Aang and his friends, and they have some sort of new device that, it's like a super fast tank pretty much, and it can track them almost anywhere, and they don't know how. So obviously it seems like the Fire Nation is really upping their technology more and more, which is good. It makes the threat even stronger. So you have that going on. You have Toph. Is it Toph or Tough? I forget. But you have her splitting from the group for a bit, because she's talking about how she's carrying her own weight. What's the problem? And Katara's having a problem because she should be contributing more to the team and be a team player. And I'll be honest, that's not as much as you would think. Oh, come on, that's obvious. I actually think there is a touch more going on there. I've come across that situation sometimes too. It's a legit situation. So, someone that just says, "Hey, I'm doing my own thing, just let me do my own thing," and then others are like, "Look, this is a team effort, you have to be part of the team, you have to help out, we'll help you," and so on and so forth. So I thought that was actually a very legit sort of conflict going on there. You have the uncle meets up with Toph, and they don't know that they're going to be enemies, essentially. They just run into each other, they have no idea who they are, they're just two strangers lost, and they share tea together and they have a conversation. And what I really like about this is that you could show them having the conversation and that could be enough. You would have your message out there that, hey, look, these people don't know who they are and yet they're getting along because they don't know who they are. That's the message. This is the scene. This scene. And this is what I think Man of Steel got wrong. Why am I being so mean to Man of Steel? I don't care. Man of Steel would show these scenes because they know, hey, these scenes are in development movies. Where, what does this mean? Well, I have to do this, and now the scene where I get beat up, and now the scene where I'm having trouble fitting in, and now the scene here. But it doesn't just stop there. It's not just showing that scene for the sake of showing that scene because this is part of the formula. What they talk about is important. They talk about what it means to not only help one another, but to allow themselves to be helped. And I love at the end when she's leaving, she gives that bit of advice to him, which I thought was very good advice. That, okay, so you're following your nephew because you want him to know that he needs you, and you're aware of it, and that option should always be open. You could let him know that you need him as well. I thought that was very nice, poignant writing. I thought that was very well done. So again, it's not just this scene is here to be that scene, you know, just to get across this one message, is that they actually are sharing a conversation that's an important, good, strong conversation. So it could stand on its own. If it didn't connect to the rest of the story, it would still be a good scene. So kudos for that. And then at the end, you get this wonderful Mexican standoff. You get Aang, you got Zuko, and you got Azula. And they have this three-way fight, and it's really great. But then they keep adding stuff on top. They have Katara catches up, and Sokka, and then you have the uncle catches up, and then you have Toph catches up, and this fight is going, and it just escalates and gets more and more crazy, and you're seeing who. In those moments, they're just trying to think very quickly. Okay, whose side am I on again? Wait, which one am I fighting? Wait, that's Zuko. Wait, that's Azula. Okay, I'm fighting Azula. Wait, who's Zuko fighting? Is he going after? Hey, no, he's going after Azula. Okay, we're all after Azula. And those moments are so great because, like I said, you do get this surprising amount of strange clarity in these very confused, chaotic moments, and even after when Azula does that, where she attacks the uncle, I hope he's not dead. I don't think he's dead. I don't think they would kill him off. Like, he'd have to have some last words or something. I don't think they would kill him off right quite then. I think he's moaning too. But I love that Katara goes up and says, Zuko, I can help. And he says, get away! And it's like after that moment is over, they're back to their roles again. They're back to their sides. But they did sort of share each other. They, like, all the outcasts came together, which I like. It's like for a second they all shared that in common, that they had a common enemy. It's what my brother and I always call the alliance of convenience, where my enemy is going to become my friend because he's also the enemy of my other enemy. And I love those scenes. I love when they have to give in and join the lesser of two evils. Phone's ringing, but I will answer it later, because I'm almost done here. So, again, a good episode, I would very much argue an important episode. You see something called The Chase, and you would just think, oh, it's just a chase. But so much is revealed about the characters in not necessarily showing their backstory or just talking, but just what they'll do under pressure. In fact, you could argue you can actually learn the most about a character in those moments. So I think this was a very strong, very important episode, and I love that it doesn't end with Zuko talking to his uncle, it doesn't end with Azula saying next time, it just ends with them sleeping. I thought that was a very good, fast, but also very effective way of ending it. It was so quick you could almost miss it, but it is just, the episode's so chaotic and so fast-paced, you do just take a breath, you just go, whoo, and you feel that breath. You feel that need to, you know, for just relaxation, just to stop. So, by a good way. So, a very, very good episode. I enjoyed it immensely. So, that's it for this one. I'll see you at the next one.